Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhan Radhe Jasodanandana Brajajanaranjana Jasodanandana Brajajanaranjana Jamuna Tiravana Jamuna Tiravana Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hadi Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hadi Jaya Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivajagacharya Astatara Satasi Simadis Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Gaura Premanandi. Come on. Guess what? Harmonic convergence. Yesterday, we heard some little conversation about the Rasa Panchajayi. Is that how you pronounce Panchajayi? And one of the chapters is chapter 21. It's not canto 11, it's canto 10. Let me correct it. Canto 10, chapter 21, from Venu Gita, or the song sung by the gopis. So this is the gopis speaking or singing about Krishna's flute. And they say many other things besides Krishna's flute. And one of those things that they say is about Govardhan. Would you like to know what they say about Govardhan? Some of you already know. They say that Govardhan is the best. The best say the best. Is there somebody better than the best? Is somebody better? Exalted? We heard yesterday of all the different rasas and of all the different, and so forth and so on. So and the gopis there say, no, 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 no. Govardhan. So look at this. There's the verse. Now, I'm really klutzy at chanting Sanskrit, but I know somebody in the room that's really good at chanting Sanskrit. Do you have a portable microphone? And So that's our Hari-dāsa-varya topic. And I plan to cover this topic that's shown on the screen here. One important way to understand a person's nature is to learn about their origins. There are several stories about the origin of Giri Govardhan and how he came to Braja. Now, it's a pastime. It's not like fiction or something or something or something. It's a pastime of how Govardhan came to Braja. Now I'm going to start with a well-known, I didn't even know what the source of it was, but I heard it many times, particularly from Bhakti Chaitanya Swami, because I like hearing his narrations. And it come from Garga Samhita, so I downplayed Garga Samhita. We're going to hear a little bit more about Garga Samhita today, this morning. The narration is that Pulasya Muni was from a part of India, a holy place where there were no hills, it was very flat. And he went on pilgrimage and he went all the way to Samali Dweep, which according to the Bhagavatam, it's west of Bharatvarsha. So you can look that up if you like. It's in the 5th canto Bhagavatam. And it's in the Antar Dweep section of Bhumandala, but Shamali Dweep. And he saw this wonderful mountain that came to be known by him as the son of Drona. Dronachala means Mount Drona. And he requested Dronachala, please give me your son. And Pulasya was the kind of a little bit like Durvasa Muni. You don't say no to Durvasa Muni. Don't get Durvasa Muni angry. And Pulasya was getting a little irritated that rather than he's just asking for charity, he's a exalted Brahmana. So very reluctantly Dronachala consented. So Pulasya turned to Govardhan, who's known at the time as Govardhan, the son of Dronachala, and he requested, please come with me. So the narration goes like this. Govardhan, the son of Dronachala, said, yes, on one condition. What's that one condition? You can carry me, he had mystic powers, but wherever you place me down, that's it, I'm not going further. So be it. So there's the painting, classic painting. You'll see this again in the evening session. He is carrying Govardhan Hill. So Krishna isn't the first one to lift Govardhan Hill. Notice it's also his left hand. But he is lifting Govardhan Hill. And Govardhan wanted to be in Vrindavan. So what did he do? He had some power. He made it such that Pulasya Muni had to answer the call of nature. You can figure out what that means. And when you have to answer the call of nature, you have to answer the call of nature. You can say, Hari Bol, give me a break. So he was passing over Vrindavan and he placed Govardhan Hill down, answered the call of nature, came back, and he wanted to resume his journey back to Kashi. And Govardhan wouldn't budge. And he tried again and Govardhan wouldn't budge. Govardhan reminded him, you made a promise. I had a condition. You made a promise to fulfill that condition. I'm not going anywhere else. That's it. So Pulasya was a learned sadhu, and he understood this was a trick. All along this was a trick, because Govardhan knew that after some time, Krishna is going to appear, and he wanted to be with Krishna in Govardhan, or in Vrindavan, excuse me. And so Palasya then made a curse. That wasn't nice. You don't curse Govardhan or the Supreme Lord or a servant of the Supreme Lord, that what to speak of the greatest of the servants of the Supreme Lord. But he cursed him. And the curse was, all right, you win. You made a promise, I'll keep the promise. But the curse was, you will diminish in size until you eventually disappear into the earth by the measurement of one sesame seed every day. No. Little sesame seed. It's pretty small. But every day, through passage of time, this is from previous age. So according to this description, at one time when Govardhan first arrived in Braja, 8 yojanas long, in yojanas 8 miles, that's pretty long, 5 yojanas wide, now Govardhan is quite narrow, and 2 yojanas tall, that's 16 miles. That's pretty tall. But he was diminished by 1 sesame seed every day. And there's this description that the shadow of Govardhan would go all the way to Mathura, which is quite a distance from Braja. So that's a commonly understood source of how Govardhan got to Vrindavan. He was in the previous mountain range, the son of Dronachala. There is another description. Somebody asked me, is there any description of Hanuman lifting Govardhan hill? I said, no, I don't know of any Hanuman lifting Govardhan hill. Krishna lifted Govardhan hill, the different yugas, and then, lo and behold, there is a narration from Adi Varaha Purana that's cited by Narayana Bhatta Goswami. No, I'm assuming this WhatsApp system that you're all connected with, you all got a copy of that little biography of Narayana Bhatta Goswami? Yes? No? Maybe? Yes. Yes. Okay, thank you. So you'll find something out about him. He was a contemporary of the 6 Goswamis. He received Diksha from not one of the 6 Goswamis, but one of the contemporaries of the 6 Goswamis upon their recommendation. And then he lived, and he discovered many. The first I heard about Narayana Bhatta Goswami was from Bhakti Chaitanya Maharaj. Because one of the things he did was, like they did, he discovered places of pastimes of Krishna, because during their time, as we know, even where Radhakund Shamakund were unknown, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu found where they were, and then he assigned to Rupa and Sanatan to re-establish those places. Narayana Bhatta Goswami did exactly that, and he wrote this book, Vraja Bhakti Vilas. Nice name, Vraja Bhakti Vilas. And in this Vraja Bhakti Vilas, there's this reference to Govardhan, and at the end of this little presentation, you'll see the words from this book, and they'll be sung musically by Jyotirmaya. Is she here? Okay, she's here. But here's a little description. The little description is, at the time of building the bridge to Lanka, there was a call by Lord Ramachandra for all the Vanaras to gather rocks and hills and mountains and, you name it, big-sized things. So he, Hanuman, had a capacity to travel quickly. So he went all the way to the Himalayas and he picked up Govardhan Hill. Hanuman was carrying Govardhan Hill. And as he was carrying Govardhan Hill, right at the time he was passing over Vrindavan, he heard a voice in the sky saying, no need to bring further rocks and mountaintops because the bridge has been built. He heard a voice from the sky. And so he placed Govardhan down in Vrindavan, according to Adi-Varaha Purana, quoted by Narayana Bhatta Goswami. And because Govardhan was placed down, Govardhan became angry at Hanuman. You've deprived me of getting the benefit of the lotus feet of Lord Ramachandra. So I plan to curse you. He didn't curse him. I plan to curse you. And Hanuman said, don't worry. So an arrangement will be made so that the next time Ramachandra appears, which is Krishna's appearance, you will be the lotus feet of Krishna and Balaram and all their associates and all the cows will give their association to you. So Govardhan didn't curse him. And Hanuman went back and informed Ramachandra. Ramachandra, we'll see this in the song, because there's more images, but Ramachandra heard the report from Hanuman, what happened with this threat of being cursed. And Ramachandra said, not only will I lift Govardhan Hill with my hand, but I shall make him the playground of my youth. The inscription of my name and impressions of my feet will liberate these stones, that's the bridge, and my pastimes of herding cows, playing with friends, and dancing with gopis will make Giriraj taste ecstasies of prema. So we'll see the whole text, and right from Braja Bhakti Vilas in a moment. So there's two histories. And here's one from Padma Purana. Now, how do we get different histories? If it's this, it can't be that. So one common explanation is different days of Brahma, Kalpabheda, different days of Brahma, sometimes and sometimes and sometimes. That's a standard explanation for discrepancies in Puranic histories of things. So from Padma Purana, there is this narration that in a previous ancient age, doesn't say more than that when, a Brahmana named Govardhan received the benediction. He was a great devotee of the personality of Godhead. The personality of Godhead appeared, and the Brahmana, requested that the personality of Godhead place his lotus feet on his back. And the reply was, so be it. The Brahmana received the Sarupya Mukti as a spiritual form of Krishna's manifestation as Govardhan Hill. His name was Govardhan and became Govardhan Hill. Knowing that the Brahmana was hungry and thirsty, the personality of Godhead arranged for fresh rain, clouds, and the Anukut festival. Now, there's further detail. This is just a simple narration, but there's the Anukut festival, and there he is, the personality of Godhead, showing himself as Hari, and the Anukut before the personality of Godhead, Hari. That's three different explanations, Padma Purana. Here's another one. Now, I don't know what this Maheshwara Tantra is, but it's from this source. Narada Muni was somehow or another carrying a jeweled necklace of Parvati. And somehow he was in Vrindavan, and when the jeweled necklace of Parvati landed on the ground, the necklace manifested in the form of Giriraj. No explanation. I'm anticipating questions. I just know what the text that I read says from this source. And there's the garland, or the necklace from that Govardhan hill. Now, all three of these explain the source of Govardhan coming to Vrindavan, but where did Govardhan come from before he came to Vrindavan? Giriraj existed before being brought to Braja. The only known origins of Giriraj are mentioned in another section of this questionable Garga Samhita. Got a cloud over it. And Bhavishya Purana, but it's a narration that's rather detailed and rather interesting. And it makes reference, specifically one of the Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas, without naming the name, has made reference to this in relation to the very same verse, the Hari-dāsa-varya verse. Again, it says 11, but it's not 11. It's 10, 21, 18. I'm going to fix it. So there's the line again, and you see a big, larger red letters, Hari-dāsa-varya. This is the gopis declaring that Govardhan is the best. Hari-dāsa-varya. And Krishna and Rama place their charanas, their lotus feet, sparsha. They touch the Govardhan hill with their feet. So he's in ecstasy, being touched by their feet. So in that, the commentary on that very verse, reference is made to this passage from Garga Samhita, and very same language used in Bhavishya Purana. And there you see across the top, the way it's from both sources, Manasa Prakriter Jato Giri Govardhano Mahan. The topmost Rasika Giriraj Govardhan manifested directly from the heart of Srimati Radhika, Krishna's internal potency. Manasa Prakriti Prakriter Jata. There's the same phrase, similar nice painting of Govardhan Hill. And there are different ways of describing this. Here's one of those different ways of describing this. Bhavishya Purana narrates the story. It's a little unusual, but the story reads, Radha and Krishna performed severe penance for 1,000 years, after which their radiant effulgence created the entire Vrajamandala. That's just getting started. Then it mentions 21 energies, and I did a bunch of research and I couldn't find out because I'm anticipating the question. What are those 21 energies? Answer, I don't know. And I couldn't find a source that says what those 21 energies are. "21 energies emerge from their bodies, 5 from the working senses, pancha karmendriyas, 5 from knowledge-acquiring senses, pancha jnanendriyas. Those energies, those 10, manifested or turned into 10 villages: Gokula, Varsana, Nandagaon, Bandira, Mathura, Vraja, Yamuna, Manya, Shreyaska, and Gopika." Notice what's up there in the upper right. You all know what that is. What's that? Yeah. Makes you want to go to Vrindavan, doesn't it? It's a very nice painting. And there's Radha on this little protrusion into a kund, and she's feeling separation from Krishna. Ten energies from the 5 senses. Pancha tanmatras, 5 elements, became the 10 forests: Vrindavan, Gopavan, Bahulavan, Madhu Singha, Kunjavan, Dadivan, Rahavan, Kridavan, Venuvan, and Padmavan. 10 forests. Then this is the same verse that we saw before: Manasa Prakriter Jato Giri Govardhano Mahan. Then from the minds of both Radha and Krishna was born Sri Govardhan. Seeing the divine Vrajamandala, Govardhan attained great happiness. That's this Garga Samhita. Garga Samhita is the source. But Vishnu Purana says that slightly differently. The topmost of the Rasika, we saw this Sanskrit, from her heart. Govardhan manifested directly from the heart of Srimati Radharani. And differently in Garga Samhita, different Sanskrit, different verse, on one occasion after dancing in the Rasa Leela with the Vraja Gopikas, Sri Krishna, being pleased with them, offered them a boon. Radharani took him up. "O Lord of the worlds, if you are pleased with my love in this rasa dance, then there is a desire in my heart I would like to place before you." Very submissive. Not always Radharani speaks like that. "In the splendid Vrindavan forest, in a beautiful and secluded place, by the Yamuna's shore, please make an arena for a nectar rasa dance, O Lord of the Lords. This is my desire." Again, this is a different section of Garga Samhita, and here's the reply. Tatastu, so be it. And then with some description, here's the Sanskrit. At that time, while Krishna looked on at the gopis, a fiery glow came out of his heart, which was certainly the seed of deep loving attachment. Anurag. When Krishna's manifest love fell on the ground of the rasa dance, it grew into a great mountain known as Giriraj Govardhan. Now we're going to see at the end something that Rupa Goswami writes that seems to support. He makes no specific reference to the Garga Samhita, but it seemed to support similar type of message. Giriraj was filled with many caves and swiftly moving streams. He was beautifully ornamented with various trees, such as Kadamba, Makula, and Ashoka, was covered with flowering vines, was opulent with Mandara and Kunda flowers, and filled with graceful birds. Very nice painting of Govardhan in the background, and the scene before the hill of Govardhan, at the foot of Govardhan. After coming from Krishna's heart, his personified love for Radha began growing and growing. Guess what? There's practically no limit to Krishna's love for Radha. So it grows, Govardhan grows very big, according to this description. That manifest love became 800,000 miles wide. What? And 8 billion miles long. That's bigger than Vrindavan. And was like another Anantashesha. That mountain of love became 4 billion miles tall. Shoo. Now, tomorrow, some of you may not be here tomorrow, but if you can anticipate, if you're not going to be here tomorrow, we're going to be speaking a little bit about the inconceivableness of facts about Krishna's pastimes. And the facts about Krishna's pastimes is, at least, within the Bhagavatam, leaving aside Garga Samhita, within the Bhagavatam itself, there are incredible statistics. Especially in Vrindavan, how many cows, how many thises and how many that's, and how many bodyguards Ugrasena had in Dwarka, and just fantastic numbers. I over a period of time, I've gathered multiple documents. So I only circulated one. The one that was circulated was a little project that Hari Parshad Prabhu and someone else took up and gathered statements from scriptures of, super incredible numbers. So I'm anticipating, we'll do it again tomorrow, for those of you that will be with us tomorrow, but some of you won't be with us tomorrow, perhaps. And, these numbers are 4 billion miles tall. Pardon me. And even if there's some shrinking of one sesame seed per day, one of the statements that Bhakti Chaitanya Maharaj makes when speaking on this pastime of Govardhan coming and Pulashamuni cursing, he said Govardhan is actually diminishing. I mean, from over in our lifetime, one can experience, there are parts of Govardhan that are still a little higher, but many parts of Govardhan disappearing. And at least according to this depiction, they'll disappear. In any case, fantastic numbers. And there's one devotee that's attending this retreat that recently submitted an article to Back to Godhead magazine. That was one of the documents that you should have received. And, an explanation from the lens of modern science of how you can get, super big numbers or impossible numbers that are possible or inconceivable. But it's from a scriptural perspective, is there something that Krishna can't do? Or if he has inconceivable achintya Shakti, then it's inconceivable. And just say Hari Bol, because it's inconceivable. That inconceivable means that the mind carries conceptions, and something that doesn't fit in the mind is inconceivable. And Krishna has potencies that are inconceivable. And it's just one of the natures of Krishna. If you don't accept that Krishna has inconceivable potencies, then you don't accept Krishna, etc. The creation. And so what are you going to substitute for the inconceivable potencies of the personality of Godhead makes creation? With all of its diversity. I'm holding my head. 10 days ago, I was in, as I described, I was in a mountaintop. And I spent part of a day with Shyamasundar Prabhu, Prabhupada disciple Shyamasundar Prabhu. And he is into nature. And he's into seeing God within nature. In the diversity, and he's like an encyclopedia. And in his book that has 3 parts, Chasing the Rhinos with the Swami, the final chapter is an afterthought or kind of an epilogue. And the chapter begins with describing, the unlimitedness of what we can see with our senses, what to speak of what's beyond what we can't see with our senses. If you wanted some interesting reading, mind-blowing kind of reading, just, that's a nice place to go to get your mind blown. The personality Godhead has inconceivable potencies! Exclamation point. And a non-acceptance of that means one cannot understand. One doesn't accept God because God is without limit. But if God is without limit, then is there a limit to that which has no limit? I'm spending a little bit of time on this because this account from Garga Samhita, even if you discount or give a little discredit to the account, the Bhagavatam has similar accounts. One particle of dust from Vrindavan. Everything's within that particle of dust from Vrindavan. The dust from the lotus feet of Krishna has everything. We'll discuss a little bit more tomorrow morning, but this is like a little warm-up for the inconceivable nature of Krishna's pastimes. Govardhan's manifesting in this way is one of them. However accurate or not the communication is. Some call this mountain Govardhan, and others called it Shata Sringa, 100 peaks. The mountain expanded as much as its heart wished. So Krishna's love for Radha, what's the limit? In this way, Govardhan Hill, which is the best of mountains, which is dear to the Lord, who is as dark as a monsoon cloud, and which contains within itself all holy places, was manifested by Krishna. And here's a final slide. It's a nice depiction also. Jiva Goswami, so it's not Rupa Goswami, it's Jiva Goswami. Yuglastakam, Krishna Prema Mai Radha, Radha Prema Mayo Hari. Or Radha is made of pure love for Krishna, and Hari is made of pure love for Radha. A little similar to what was said yesterday. Different, but a little similar. Jiva goes on, Krishna Chitta Stita Radha. Radha Chitta Stito Hari. Radha is fixed in the heart of Krishna, and Hari, or Krishna, is fixed in the heart of Radha. In this way, Giriraj, as an emanation from the heart of Krishna, indicates the presence of Radha, who is eternally situated in Krishna's heart. Conclusion, summary. Govardhan is very special and mysterious, and like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself in the mood of Radha, like that, which is not easy to understand, but that's our understanding, that's our teaching. Similarly, Govardhan, the best, is honored by the gopis as the best of Krishna's servants, and it's, according to this particular narration, it's manifestation of Krishna's love for Radha. And yet, you know, the Hari, we'll see in the pastime of Krishna's lifting of Govardhan Hill. Before he lifted Govardhan Hill, he indicated the hill is Hari. So the hill is Hari, and the hill is Hari's love for Radha. Put the two together. Used like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There's a very nice description and a very nice painting that goes along with the description of Madhavendra Puri, who was the grand spiritual master of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He, the deity of Gopal was manifested to him in a dream, and then in a deity form, and then he established the deity on the side of Govardhan Hill, and there the deity remained. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited Govardhan, he wouldn't walk on Govardhan Hill. He wouldn't put his feet on Govardhan Hill, because the hill is Krishna. You don't put your feet on Krishna. So there were locals that they put their feet on the hill, and they brought the deity down. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu danced and danced and danced, and swooned in ecstasy. You know, the mood of a devotee of Krishna, who is Krishna, worshipping Govardhan Hill, who's Radharani. It's like, wow. Very special, Govardhan Hill. Very, very special. So this evening we'll hear something more on the Bhagavatam's explanation of the Krishna's lifting of Govardhan Hill, and what happened after that, what happened before that, what happened after that. Very nice description. And just to hear, again, circling back to where we began, when I began, the third Friday evening, the sound vibration has immense potency. The topics of Krishna and Krishna's pastimes and Krishna's activities and Krishna's abode and Krishna's form. There's spiritual potencies that just by hearing and remembering and purposefully directing our attention to these sound vibrations, we're carried to that same place. We're with the Krishna through sound, and we're in the holy Dham, which is non-different. So this is a nice place to be in Vrindavan. Have you noticed a lot of peacocks around? You want to know that there's a little history. At least, if anybody in the room knows a different history, please raise your hand afterwards. But the history that I am aware of is during the earliest days of Gitanagari, before there were restrictions about bringing animals and birds into the country, somebody brought, I don't have the name, somebody brought a male and a female peacock. And guess what? The whole of Juniata County has been overrun by peacocks. And not everybody knows how that happened, because peacocks aren't indigenous to this area. But the peacocks really like Gitanagari. And, you know, especially if you have some food, they'll like you too. Better keep your hand covered if because they're pretty intense. And there's certain places they seem to like. Behind the barn is one of the places. Anyway, reminds one of Vrindavan. It's easy to remember Vrindavan being in Gitanagari. It's easy to remember Krishna meditating on Vrindavan and meditating on Govardhan Hill. So we'll do some more of that this evening. So I'm going to end because I wanted to have this nice song. Maybe we'll do the song next. You ready? I'm going to have to give you the slide changer. I hope the slide changer works. Okay, you got your orchestra ready. Here, who is their slide changer person? You're going to do that? Okay, he's the creator of this PowerPoint presentation. There's a lot of artificial intelligence artwork. The one on the right. The one on the left takes it back. The one on the right moves it forward. You want my laptop? You can just do whatever you like. If it gets stuck, you'll have to do it manually. Take it away, Jyotirmaya.
रामाज्ञाग्राहक श्रीमान् हनुमान् वानराधिपः उत्तरात् बुद्धृतं स्कन्दे नीत्वा पर्वतम् उच्चकम् देवताकाशवाक्यैस्तु सेतुपूर्णस्तु जायते इति वाक्यं समागमः मनोहरेर्भक्तो हनुमन्तं ब्रवीद्वचः भगवत्पादहीनं मां करिष्येऽत्र गमिष्यति शापं दातुं प्रशक्तो भूत् गिरिर्हनुमते किल ततो गिरिवरस्यापि वाक्यमाकर्ण्य वानरः वरदो गिरये भूयात् अब्रवीत् वाक्यं कपीश्वरः हनुमत् उवाच क्षमस्व भो दुराराध्य त्वया वासं चकारस इन्द्रो देवादिभिः सार्धं गोपपूजां समाददे ऊर्जासीत प्रतिपत्यां गोपानां रक्षको भव द्वापरान्ते कलेरदौ लीलापूर्णे भविष्यसि इति आश्वास्य कपिः श्रीमान् जगामनाभशासुदिः रामं प्राप्त्वा नमस्कारं दण्डवत्स प्रपातः ब्रवीद्वाक्यं कपिश्रेष्ठः सेतुपूर्ण प्रजायते यस्मादहं क्षिपाम्यद्य गावे धनगिरिं प्रभो श्रुत्वैवं हनुमद्वाक्यं रामो वचनम् अब्रवीत् एते गिरिवरा श्रेष्ठाः पादस्पर्शाद् विमोक्ष्यते गोवर्धनं गिरिवरं करिष्येऽहं विमोक्षणं पाणिस्पर्शाच्च नन्दस्य गोपानां रक्षकं परं वसुदेवकुलोद्भूतो बालकृष्णो भवाम्यहम् इति गोवर्धनोत्पत्तिः देवानां सौख्यकारिणी इति गोवर्धनोत्पत्तिः देवानां सौख्यकारिणी इति गोवर्धनोत्पत्तिः देवानां सौख्यकारिणी देवानां सौख्यकारिणी
So I'm going to go through with a dramatic reading, and you're going to play violin softly. You don't need the microphone. Softly. By permission of Lord Rama, Lord Sri Rama, the commander of the Vanaras, Hanumanji was bringing Sri Govardhan Hill on his shoulder from Uttaranchala. At that time, a divine sound from the sky declared, that the bridge had been completed. On hearing this proclamation, Hanumanji placed Sri Govardhan on the surface of the earth, where it is present today. Hari Bhakta, Sri Govardhan then spoke to Hanumanji, "You are leaving me deprived of the lotus feet of the Lord. I will curse you." These words of Sri Govardhan were certainly heard by Hanumanji. In response to these words from Giri Govardhan, Hanumanji said the following words: "Please forgive me. When Indra will receive the worship of the Devas along with the Gopas, then the Lord will interrupt that worship and cause you to be worshipped. Then Indra will cause havoc using his lightning bolt, and at that time you will protect the Gopas. At the end of Dwapara Yuga and before the Kali Yuga, this pastime will take place. Providing assurance in this way, Shriman Hanumanji leapt into the sky and left. On reaching Lord Rama, Hanumanji offered his obeisances by falling flat on the ground. Then Hanumanji, the best among the monkeys, upon completion and manifestation of the bridge, narrated the episode of how he kept the Govardhan hill earlier and returned back. On hearing the words of Hanumanji, Lord Rama spoke the following words: "All these wonderful mountains have been delivered by the touch of my feet," the bridge. "But I will personally deliver Giri Govardhan by touching him with my own hands and protect the Gopas under the care of Nanda Maharaj. I will appear in the family of Vasudeva and perform many childhood pastimes on the Govardhan hill. This will be the cause of the appearance of Govardhan hill, and it will give pleasure to the Devas." So it's nice to have a talented family like this in our association. So we have 20 minutes till the bell rings. So let's see if there's some discussion. I see Subal's hand up first.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. By your grace, I'm able to worship Giriraj Maharaj, and I'm very grateful about this class, and I like to further understand or have a much clearer understanding. I have full faith on Giriraj is no different than Krishna, and I'm experienced that while worship. However, you have this duo, you say, is very mysterious. The explanations that many of these Shastras give is Govardhan being either an energy, an expansion of the Lord, his energy, or a devotee. But then how we understand him as a Vishnu Tattva or as a Krishna himself. You don't even need to install Giriraj to worship. How exactly that, or if it's possible to understand that?
That's a good punchline at the end. Is it possible to understand it? Let's go back to a premise that there is a source of everything. And Krishna, Bhagavan Sri Krishna, Swayam Bhagavan Krishna is the source of everything. Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo, etc. He's the source. And from the source comes everything. And there's categories of everything. Now part of the premise of your question is an energy, but it doesn't speak of Govardhan as an energy, speaks of Govardhan as a manifestation, it's one of the references, manifestation of the love. Now, can the love be a person, or did it have to be an energy? That seemed to be the crux of your question. But Krishna can manifest himself however he likes. Even our little pea brain can't sort it out. But Govardhan is Krishna's expansion. Hari. And Hari-dāsa at the same time. And how he does in different times, different narrations, etc., etc. He's free to do however he likes, without our little pea brain being able to sort it out. Does that answer your question? The punchline is it possible for us to understand? Things that are inconceivable can be revealed. So it's possible. Inconceivable and revealed and at the same time. The mind carries conceptions. It may be inconceivable to the mind, but revealed by the source of everything. And that's what Shastra is. Revealed. The Christian saying, revealed scripture. But that's, it's an appropriate description. What's scripture? It's revealed. That which is beyond the senses and beyond the mind can be revealed. And then one can perceive it not with the material mind and senses. So, and the source can reveal however he wants to reveal, or manifest however he wants to manifest. There's no restriction. There's no boundaries. Someone else, right here?
Guru Maharaj, among the pure devotees, we hear that there are very special superlative devotees.
Very special which?
Superlative personalities among the pure devotees.
Super elevated?
Superlative.
Superlative,
yeah.
Superlative.
Personalities. Is it correct to understand that from a devotee's perspective, special effort is required to access the mercy of these very special pure devotees in terms of intensity of prayers or austerities?
How does one become qualified to become a superlative devotee? What's the adhikar that one must possess, and how can one possess that adhikar? Well, it's both. It's simple, the Damodar Leela. There's effort and mercy. So both. It's not one or the other, but both. And becoming is both. And when one has come to that stage, because just a little sharing, it's, I'll speak something that's a little different than what Garuda spoke yesterday. That there is Prabhupada again and again, and my radar caught it multiple times. The stage of perfection. And then within perfection, there's more perfect, most perfect, etc. Like, the stage of prema, 8 stages of prema, and all of that. But so what's the scripture is telling us, instructing us, come to that stage. So then, is there a path? So there's sadhana, there's sadhya, there's the practice, and there's maturing of that practice, and then the eligibility for the superlative devotees. So it's same. I'm just expanding on the same point. It's effort and mercy. Like, here's a little example, simple example. In the words of the Bhagavatam, when Shukadeva Goswami is describing the childhood pastimes of Krishna, this is leading up to the killing of Aghasura, etc., that chapter 12. And then the Brahma Vimohan Leela, that chapter 13. So in that chapter 12, Krita Punya Punja, how many lifetimes of pious activities? And it's not just like material piety, it's transcendental. So is it possible to become an eternal associate? Become an eternal associate? We can be assistants to. That's a whole other topic. We can become assistants to those eternal associates. And one can be superlative devotee in that sense.
Guru Maharaj, in terms of effort though, does the effort have to be perfect, more perfect, most perfect? Is there a different level of effort required to access that?
Sure. Then, the answer to this question is yes. Is it possible for Krishna to bypass?
Got it.
Ask Putana.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. In Krishna book, we read that when everything was complete, Krishna assumed a great transcendental form and declared to the inhabitants of Vrindavan that he was himself Govardhan Hill, in order to convince the devotees that Govardhan Hill and Krishna himself are identical. So regarding this, I had this question, Maharaj, that when Hanumanji blessed Govardhan Hill, so Govardhan is Krishna himself. So I'm trying to understand that how a devotee bless the Lord.
Oh, it's a pastime. Give some whitewash and cover it with whitewash, and it's a pastime. Krishna can do whatever he likes. And he does whatever he likes. Even our little pea brain can't sort it out. So Krishna doesn't need a blessing from Hanuman. So, but and Hanuman's a pure devotee, so how can Hanuman bless one who doesn't, the Supreme Lord? It's a pastime. We've been discussing this, so it's fine.
So everything comes to rasa.
What?
Everything then finally comes to rasa, or rasa of Lord. That's how we can understand.
Yeah, you got it. You remember, because you've heard me say this before, but I said it yesterday. When you come to something and you can't figure it out, bring the lens of rasa to bear on the subject, and then the picture becomes more clear, or very clear, depending on how elevated one's sensibilities of rasa are. But that's what he does. Okay, someone else?
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. The curse that Pulastya Muni gave to Govardhan Giri, it seems like, Govardhan Giri doesn't have to go through the Kali Yuga. So
Govardhan doesn't have what?
Govardhan Giri doesn't have to go through Kali Yuga, and it kind of seems like good. And also that, is it, so the cursing, is it good or bad? And did Pulastya Muni also suffer for cursing Govardhan Giri?
Acoustics in the temple room here are kind of demanding that I'm going to wear my hearing aid, which I don't like. Because I got about 10%, maybe 20%. Did you get the whole thing? Oh, did Pulastya Muni get suffering for cursing Govardhan? That's what you want to know?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
What do you think?
Maybe yes.
You say yes. But he's wait a minute. He's just an assistant in a pastime of the personality of Godhead. And part of the pastime of the personality of Godhead that he does this business of cursing. So why should he get a reaction? One could argue that direction. Pastimes bear tattvas. You can't curse. And if the hill of Govardhan accepts the curse, it's a pastime. It's his pastime. But so, if it's his pastime, then you can't offend the personality of Godhead without reaction, even in a pastime. Okay. Yes, I see Acharya Nishta.
Maharaj, there was one other aspect to his question, that because Govardhan would not have to experience Kali Yuga because he would go under the earth, he said, is that a good thing that he would not have to experience Kali Yuga?
It's Kali Yuga, as far as I can see. We have 6 minutes till the bell rings.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. Can you hear me well?
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. I have 3 things.
3 things.
The first is a comment, and the second is a question, and the third one is
Complaint.
maybe either a comment or a question. The first comment is the beginning verse we start with today, the 10:21:18 verse.
Yeah.
It I see the same. It's the same 14-syllable meter. Unfortunately, again, the same meter that Brahma Samhita is written.
What's in Brahma Samhita?
The meter of the Sanskrit
The
verse
meter. Oh.
is the 14-syllable meter.
Oh. That's an observation.
That's an observation.
Yeah.
Santa Tilaka. And the question,
And she's not a Sanskrit scholar either. She's tuned in. Vaishnavi. Go ahead.
the question is related to what Garuda Prabhu taught about yesterday. When he was talking about Venu Gita, he said each of the verse is spoken by a different gopis or something like that. But the Bhagavata Purana did not specifically point out which gopi spoke which verse.
He mentioned
And
that, yeah.
my question is, this particular verse 18, who spoke that?
Do you have the answer to that question? So we're on your behalf, we're requesting Garuda to look at his computer sometime in the next few days, sooner the better, but in the next few days, and send a message to me, then I'll circulate it so everyone can have the answer, which gopi, if there is some information like that. Speaking of your books in your car, have you made an opportunity for the devotees to sign up to get copies of your books, whether from your car or through the mail or something?
Yesterday I was sitting on the bench and someone asked me about my book and I said, well, I was happy with the car. And then 9 other devotees came along and they asked me.
I warned you.
So I only brought 10 books of the same title because I'm traveling light because I have to go to Orlando.
Yes.
So that otherwise I would have brought more. But
Yeah. Well, we went through this, but we'll discuss it at breakfast.
Yeah,
But if
okay.
you leave some system or send the system, then you can go to the WhatsApp group. Anybody who wants a copy of the following 12 books, check the box. And then,
Amazon does that for me. They're all on Amazon because they're published by major academic publishers. So
okay, you help them.
I'll help them.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And after being with you, memory has a way of fading. So strike while the iron's hot, or I think it'll be meaningful to the devotees if they have access to your written word in addition to your humorous spoken word.
Yeah, memory does fade. Swamiji, the second worst thing about growing old is losing your memory. The second worst thing.
Yeah, losing your hearing
What's
is
the
another
first?
problem too.
I forget.
Okay, look at this. It's the 9:45 bell has rung, and we're going to move on to whatever the next activities are, probably breakfast.
What about the third thing, Guru Maharaj?
What? Okay, do the third thing. You get the last word. Go ahead.
Okay. So in there are 2 incidents you quoted from Garga Samhita about the origin of about the sides
Yes.
of Giri Govardhan.
Yes.
And the first one is provided by Pulasya Muni, and that side is 8 by 5 by 2.
Yeah.
A later one is provided by Krishna.
The scripture contradicts itself, you're pointing out.
I mean, this
Yeah,
is a
you're
question
pointing it
and
out.
a comment. It's
She-
not
he said-
necessarily.
So, you want an explanation of why the contradiction? Ask Garga.
I'll let you know.
Okay. Breakfast time. Srila Prabhupada ki. Shri Radha Damodar ki. Giri Govardhan ki. Gaur Premanandi. Hari Bol.